group.
I think next one is Regis.
Regis Garcia.
Good morning, Lars, Sarah,
Is it very
Stefan.
early for you?
Yeah, we're 6 o'clock here, and I wake up 5 o'clock. We are barbarian times. Well, please let me share my screen. Okay.
I think Rami has to close his sharing before. Rami?
He did?
No.
I see the screen.
No. Yes.
No, perfect.
Okay. Let's begin. So, thank you because of your time and also the course. I have learned very quick in these 6 months. I appreciate the time of each of you. So I'm going to the presentation. We have 10 minutes. In honor to the time, I'm going to be fast. So forms follow energy. Brian Cody to you, grass. So we now saw the flowers. The name of the project is the Coca Flower Pavilion. Inspired of the thousands of the species of the new continent, the Inca's culture, and the great naturalist Alexander von Humboldt and my father, Mario Garcia. It is an exhibition area. It has suitable, efficient, and safe lightweight structure. Lightweight because it's only 50 kilograms per square meter. Innovative features, it's going to generate its own energy, collects water, and produce food in an environmentally friendly way, a translucent environment. We in this part, we want to use Cooper. It's not approved, this is not scientific proof, but because of the antimicrobial and the antistatic and warping properties of the Cooper, I think so the fabrics or the companies could consider Cooper because it has the ability to ward off bacteria and fungi, also and the ability to conduct heat and expel dust at the same time. I do this because in my country, in my city, Lima, is no rain. We live in a desert. We are the second city in the world that live in the desert. Only we compare with Nilo, Egypt, the Cairo, because you have the Nilo River, we have the Rimac River, but there's difference along of the quantity of flow of water. We have too much dust. So I need a material that we can, by the Internet of Things, warming or heating or antistatic, something like this to expel the dust. So it is some of the futures I consider we can research. The survey, we are in BUGA ERFURT, we have different loads to consider. I consider all the snow loads, all the wind velocity. According to the Eurocode, we have 80 load combinations in the software we use IXCUBE. So the area of the exhibition and events called Coca Flower Pavilion consists of metal structure covered with a type 3 membrane tensile structure. The height is approximately 7 meters, an area of 19 per 19 meters. It used two types of upper and lower beams, like an arch, top arch, bottom arch, with whimsical curvature simulating the petals of the coca flower. In the left hand, this is the coca flower. In honor to the Incas, we have a study about the coca leaves, has a large amount of nutrients, and that each 100 grams of leaf coca contain calcium, is the major contributor of calcium. We have a project to feed the world with coca. So after this, we consider ERFURT. We saw last month how is the snow, very cold for us, but interesting. It's well, like we said, a reto for us. So we consider the type 3 megatop N because of the properties of the cold resistance, high temperature, and also because of the load bearing specification, the tensile strength. So this is the flower from view, top view. This is what we say how we are going to use this building in the 21st century. Less is more. We have to be an ecological point of view. So this is an area we can use for hydroponia. And the material we choose was a PVC membrane. I discussed about using ETFE because we want to approach the sunlight because the UV rays, but the cost of the ETFE, if we use ETFE, we are going to use more or less 200 square meters of ETFE, and the cost of ETFE, you can put 600 euros per square meter. And instead of using ETFE, we decide to use the sunlight capture. The sunlight capture is simple. I'm going to show a photograph in the next, but we only need this to fit the plants because of the UV rays. Also using, we saw in research, Nasil, Italian company, developed the panel solar with a membrane. It's still in researching, but it works. Beside the membrane structure, we want to put a digital outdoor panel that is feeding by this wind turbine. That's just to put a idea of the time we have to change our way of living and make the climate great again. So this is what we want to show, because BUGA Park, there is a family place, children's, and we want to put an idea of this. We can produce food inside with hydroponical way. We can catch water. I think also in my country we have put membranes and the water, because of the humidity, drop by drop the water is collect. So it's an opportunity to show that we can building and to produce food, produce with own energy. That is the future of the buildings. So this is the light capture I propose to put in the ground to only to fit this. In this time, it is a hydroponical way to put the feeds in the column. Also, we are going to produce food. We are going to collect water in the center and in the corner plates. I'm going to show that design. So this is printable. So we are going to put printable message according to the ecological point of view to show that membranes white with a bit of color, we can send an important message. Because of the structural analysis, here presenting the loads which were applied, each takes over the steel and membrane structure. Within the present analysis, we are able to verify multiple load combination, assuring the structural integrity of the structure and designs part and elements according to the standard. We attach the structural analysis design IXCUBE report, and we are going to use 3 kinds of steel profiles. After the considerations, first we performed and analyzed the combination of loads that could affect the proposed pavilion at Park the BUGA. We started with fixed connections in the C model, and we then analyzed around with IXCUBE. We have too much tension in the center of the column, so we changed to the A connection. To consider this, we saw Eurocode's wind safety factor and the safe factors. Also, we saw in Brazilian winds, we catch some dome, a perfect dome, to simulate the force and the wind velocity and the safety factor and the factor of the winds. We have pressure and also suction pressures. We calculate and make all the grades of the wind, 0 to 350, The snow, we consider the snow also because we saw the picture. There is too much snow in ERFURT, and we consider this. Well, this you can see in the report on IXCUBE, how the winds behavior, the wind loads, considering the snow loads also. Interesting, the IXCUBE in high, quickly classes on tutorial, YouTube, Jerry, amazing, the software. I show here before we proposed to use fixed connection, the columns and beams, but after structural analysis and design, we changed to B-articulate connection because the material has resist, but we have 500 kilonewtons square meter in this point. So we decided to change. And then we changed, we proved the moments and was null. So it seemed that it's going to be a good way of changing the joints. Like I said before, among the joint option analyzed in the model, presented ABC model, chosen A was because having the V-articulate arches of the structure, it's possible to say with the foundation of these arches. Since the moments that reach their basis is null. And also with the moment applied these arches to the central pillar, thus having a simple joining system. The mass anchor is in the base. Facilitate the assembly forces of the work, making unnecessary the use of auxiliary structure for the elevation on the structure. So simple, change the connection, and it's make us happy. Following with the membrane structure for finding in the warp and the web direction, we saw that the report allowed us to follow, and also we analyzed the snow distribute and the snow concentrate. Well, then about detailing patterning, if you want to more specification in the IXCUBE report, we have more details and more picture about the wind, the snow, and all the load combinations. About detailing and patterning, we have allowed the sketches. These to put only 2 or 3, but we put all the details, the cowboy pocket, the cable edge, the corner detail, and the header and the pipe, the clap, and this is the tube wall. This is the detail I want to show how we're going to collect the water. Okay, the detail plate, the machines that are used, the welding machine, the high frequency, detailing and compensation. The longest membrane cloth will weigh 70 kilos. With the welded membrane pieces is 56 square meters. So we are going to use a small crane. And lifting order of the main structure. The main structure, first we put the column that is with foundation is fixed. And then we put the arch, the bottom arch, then the upper or the top arch with the articular connection. In the detail also we have this attached in the blueprints of steel structure. Like I said before, we only need a crane and 4 units of 10-meter scaffold to support the arch and to fix the membrane to the beams. This is, like I said, a light structure, only is more or less 6 tons of the steel. It's about 15 kilograms per square meter. We have 375 pieces of steel structure. And yes, we are going to weld on site for the flap for the last segment with a hot air gun. The foundation we use, we have 2 options. The fixed foundation with Hilti anchors. In the in situ cases, concrete foundation, this is for the main column in the center. We are discussing still about using ground screws and helicoidal piles or fixed foundation because we only need 10 foundation for the rest of the beams of the arcs. So we have only 11 foundations. And because of the snow, the wind pressure, and all the load combination, we are inclined to use fixed foundation in situ casted crowded foundation. Finally, folding and packing concept, like I said, cleanliness for us is very important because of the dust. We will pack it on wooden pallet of transportation, membrane folding, concept of cleanliness, all also was uploaded in the homework before. The cost, like we decide to use one material because of the cost. PVC membrane is enough for us. ETFE is expensive for us. It's only cost 193 euros. But yesterday we received a quote for the software of IXCUBE, so we have to increment this cost. The schedule is about 19 weeks from the planning to the membrane installation, and this is the Coca flower pavilion. So, do you have any question about the Coca? I can answer. And
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Should I start?
Mhm.
Okay. One question to your structure or the structural behavior, the load-bearing behavior. You have arches. The arches are connected to your main column in the middle.
yes.
This is the fixed point, the column. And then you have these hinges around for the supports of the arches. There you will have vertical and also horizontal support reactions. Have you thought about how you can reuse the support reactions, the horizontal support reactions at the supports of the arch? Have you thought about this? Because you have to carry these forces, but there are, for example, or there is a solution that you can leave them, that we have only vertical support reactions there. Have you thought about this issue?
Yeah.
How you can solve it, perhaps?
Yeah, with the well, like we think about to the fabrication and the assembling of this, we are going to use the scaffold and the crane also, but we don't want to use more steel or to connection between an arcs before we try to put an arc with another arc connect with a steel, but it's not necessary because first the arch in the first design, the first sketch, it was an helicoidal and with the angle, but in this point we are going to put B-article connections, and it's enough. The membrane is going to fix the arch, and
yes, but here there is the membrane. But I just want to know, how can I leave this horizontal support reaction? The vertical, of course, we have no chance, but there we have foundation elements that are not the problem. The problem for the foundation elements are the horizontal support reactions. Can you leave them? It is possible in a very easy way.
Yeah, we are going to consider.
What about you have a platform, and there's your arch. There's the next one. And you can use a tension ties here, or just this one. In this way, we can connect this one with this one, for example, or this one with this one, or this one with this one in your platform. And then we have really less foundations, because the foundation with the screw foundation, it is for a temporary structure, should be, but if you have really deformation in one direction, in the other direction, then we have often problems. And vertical support reaction are not really a problem, because then we have a precast element there, and there's the next one, and the next one, and that's it. And you need these tension ties. This is the first one. just to improve it. My questions are always in the same time, how can we improve your structure and what is possible to do? Another and last question is about the snow loads.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you have to consider snow loads over the whole structure, over the whole surface of your membrane?
Yes,
or
yes.
are there parts there it is not necessary to consider?
No, snow loads is very important for the structure. Before it was a 12 height column, and then we put 7 height. It's more flat. So we two eyes put on the ice cube, and we can see this in the.
Yes, I understand that you know about this, but my question is: have you put the snow loads on the whole structure? Have you thought about the inclination of your membrane? Because if
we
it is
put
an
in the whole
inclined
structure.
surface, then
In the
the whole structure. Okay, but just have a look on here. What is here, for example? Do you have snow loads there? Because there we have an inclination with more than 60 degrees.
Oh,
Then we have a slide of snow
let me
loads, or?
review again, because we consider we have a picture that we have about 6 kilonewton per square meter in that part.
Okay, but if we have really an inclination of more than 20, 30, 40, 60 degrees, then we have sliding of the snow loads, and there we do not have snow loads. But we will have, for your structure, problems here in the middle, because then we have sliding of snow loads in the middle of your center point.
Yes.
And this is then the snow accumulation. This means you have to consider drifting and sliding and accumulation of snow loads. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, these are my questions. But I like it very much because you have a vision in your structure and you have a topic. You start your presentation with a topic. Form follows energy. And I think this is a very interesting topic, and it's the right one to give answers to the real questions for us in civil engineering and architecture.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also from me, thank you very much. I also really like your idea about the innovative features of the structure. And this is my point. Can you go up one slide, on slide 8? I think there is a very good picture, of your. For me, it's I don't know why, but it's a little bit controversial for me to see growing plants in the dark. So I know you have these light tunnels from above, but maybe if it's a future project for you, maybe you can also, or maybe think about other materials.
Yes.
Maybe this PVC is very cost effective, but maybe for the people outside it's a little bit controversial. Maybe ETFE could be a better solution in the future for this, and so maybe you don't need the light tunnels. But this is only an advice from me when I look at this picture. So you have these plants in the dark, under the dark tent. Maybe it's just from computer visualization, but it's just an advice. And then I have one thing about detailing. Lars also talked about the arches, and the arches are inclined. Are also the plates on your foot details inclined, or are they vertical? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're talking about the details in the anchor.
The foot.
Yeah.
Because your arches are inclined. There's my camera.
Yes,
the arches are inclined, and your foot plate is vertical then, or inclined too, or.
In that part, are inclined. It's not vertical because we begin with a vertical, with a helicoidal, because of the petals. Well, we can maybe change with the sketch and make vertical first, and then we can make the curvature of the beak to form the arc. But in the first analysis, we began being article, curvature.
Yeah, yeah, because I think you have to follow the forces in your arch to your connection to the ground, because when your plate is, if you go to slide 31, I think, there we can, 31, yeah, this one, because for me here, the plate of the, when you have the connection of your arch and your plate of the foot point, your arch is inclined, but your plate is vertical. And I think maybe this is not good for the forces to transfer to the foot point. Maybe this, or maybe I'm wrong, maybe the plate is inclined too, like you said, but I cannot really see it very good.
Well, because we use biarticular connections, also the anchor is vertical, but the connection is going to be a curvature. So this is the main, the moment is null because of that. When we began fix it, the forces in the mast, in the principal column, was in the maximum material resist. We have to change something. And we discovered that changing that was the solution. Very, very simple.
Yes, you are correct, of course, with the hinges there. But the question of Sarah was just you have this flow of the forces, and if the plates that carry the loads from the tubes then to the foundation elements or the foundation plates is really in the flow of the forces.
Okay,
I think it is so. It's only the anchors and just this is then vertical, but the others should be intentional, how it is called, direction of the tubes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are going to check it again. For the moment, I have no an answer, specific answer. Let me research more.
Okay, perfect. But all the other points were very good from my opinion.
Thank you very much, Lars, Stefan.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you very much for your work.
Yeah.
And your to be with us. Yes, thanks a lot. And yes, see you.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
See you.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Sarah, haben wir jetzt eine kurze Pause? Sehe ich das richtig? Oder bin ich immer noch falsch in meinem Plan?
Nee, 14:30 Uhr.
Ah, super, weil dann kann ich ganz schnell runter meine Kids versorgen. Dann bin ich gleich wieder da. Genau.
Ja, alles gut.
Die legen mir sonst da unten gerade was. Okay, bis gleich 14:30 Uhr.
Ja.
Jo.
Hallo Stefan.
Hi, grüß dich. War ein bisschen spät dran.
Alles gut.
Ja, weißt du, sonst ist immer, fängt es eine halbe Stunde später an, als angezeigt wird. Aber diesmal hat es so angefangen, wie es angezeigt war. Ich war zwar am PC gesessen, habe noch was anderes gemacht, habe gedacht, na, jetzt loggst dich mal ein.
Nee, genau. Das ist hinten raus nicht gar so spät wird.
Kannst du mit dem Christian sagen, er möchte bitte noch unbedingt beitreten?
Wo?
Weil als Vereinsmitglied, weil ich habe ihm da jetzt auch die Dings gezahlt, ne? Die Übungsleiterpauschale. Da sollte er schon Mitglied sein, das ist besser.
Das sage ich ihm.
Ich tue da ein bisschen tricksen im Beitrittsdatum, das ist ja wurscht.
Gibt es da irgendein Dokument oder muss er einfach nur...
Der muss was schicken, ja. Da gibt es ein Dokument im Web, da kann er das einfach losschicken und damit hat sich das, oder er kann es ausdrücken und ausfüllen, aber ich glaube, im Web ist am einfachsten, das Mitglied werden oder sowas. Gut, na, da ging es ja jetzt noch rund die letzten Tage. Das ist
Ja, ist meistens so.
klar.
Ach, das kriegt man schon alles hin. Kriegt man schon alle.
Sonst gibt es eigentlich soweit nichts Neues. Das andere läuft, vielleicht kriegst du es mit oder nicht vom neuen Kurs. Da müssen wir dann mal noch ein bisschen gucken, aber eins nach dem anderen.
Sieht aber, also was ich dir schon mal gesagt habe, dass ich nicht so ganz unterscheiden kann, wer jetzt eine Anfrage oder wer schon abschließt, aber kommen viele Nachrichten, ja. Also,
ja, die Nachrichten so schon. Also am besten rufst du das auf das Übersichtsblatt von 22. Ne? Da siehst du, wer was schon gezahlt hat oder nicht. Also für mich zählen 100% nur die 100 € gezahlt haben. Das heißt, wenn die sich angemeldet haben und zurück und solange die ersten 100 € nicht da sind, sind das für mich immer noch Wackelkandidaten.
Genau.
Ich glaube, 11 oder 12 haben wir jetzt, die angemeldet haben. 12, gerade ist nochmal der eingekommen, der da auf seinen Zuschuss wartet.
Das stimmt, ja, das hatte ich gelesen.
Mit dem haben wir dann 12, aber gezahlt haben, glaube ich, erst 4. Also, aber gut, wir sind ja noch relativ früh dran.
Genau, ist doch gut.
Muss man dann weitermachen. Passt soweit schon. So.
Die ganzen Hersteller haben wir ja auch noch nicht. Ich glaube, von Ferrari
haben wir jetzt so halb haben wir, ja. François hat noch einen, der noch kommt. Da muss ich auch noch mal nachhaken, ob das einer ist, wo da schon gemeldet war, weil von der Firma, aber das ist, glaube ich, ganz große Gruppe oder nur ein Zusammenschluss. War schon mal eine Anfrage da, wo da nichts gekommen ist.
Okay.
Das sehen wir dann, ja. Dann die Einladung zur Mitgliederversammlung. Ich wollte die erst über Rapid